All praise to the Most High, Yahweh, Bashem, Yahushai, Bashem, Ukrakodash, and above honors to the elders of GMS and to all the sincere brethren that are living the truth across the world. And I pray this may be another edifying lesson to the flock. With that, I'd like to begin the lesson. And the lesson today will be about perilous time, pretty much. With all those chaos that's going on around the world right now, wars, earthquakes, people unalive one another, families turn against one another, stuff like that. So we're living like in a very, beautiful time, I should say, pretty much, man. All those things like the Bible prophesies currently happening right now, man. And the world seems to, the average person, they have no clue what's going on right now. They've been mourning and crying, say, please, I just wish like everything went back to normal. Because I was watching the news last night, well, not really the news, clips of what they were showing, like the elderly Edomite, like he was crying that his house was completely destroyed, and he said like even though he's an old age, he's still gonna start over again. Even though he said, even though I'm 91 years old, I'm not gonna give up. I'm gonna start over again. And he was mourning, man. And when they told, and a lot of people for what happened in the California situation is, a lot of people has been warned, like there's a fire coming. And even I believe there was a driver. I can't recall if it was a truck driver, but nonetheless, he was a driver. He said he got the call from somebody that told him to there's a fire in California, evacuated. He was like, huh? He said like he's always been in the road getting stuck in traffic, so he didn't take it serious until he came back home the next day. His entire house was completely burnt, and on top of that, he has like a second house in the back. That one was also burnt. So a lot of people are devastated. And in Babylon the Great, right? People refuse to listen. They're always like, well, there's been so many warning before. That's the spirit of people in Babylon. They never take anything serious until shit hit the fan. That's when they start crying and mourning. So that was pretty much like a how would I say, like a, that was like a trial. When you get like a membership, like a Netflix, Amazon, they give you like a 1 week free trial, and the free trial give you like a little taste of what's happening if you purchase the whole, if you get like a regular membership. So that's like a precursor of what's about to happen. That's like a precursor of the lake of fire. It's like a small sample, because the lake of fire is gonna happen in Babylon the Great. So that fire, when you're looking at it from the sky point of view, from the drone or whatever they use to record that video, man, it looks like a mini lake of fire. And there was like a lot of mourning, like gnashing of teeth. Well, not really gnashing of teeth yet, but people were literally mourning, man. They can't believe it. Like one moment they were happy doing their folly behaviors, most like the scripture said, just like in the day of Noah, people will be married. Almost like going to work, living the everyday day doing their wickedness, and just like that, boom, things gonna happen. And I even saw a clip of he looks like a Northern Kingdom. He was telling like a newscast what happened. There's like there fire is going on. That's what's happening. And he said, yeah. He said this is good because this is Sodom and Gomorrah, and everybody was pissed. He was like, yeah, there was like a lot of gays over there. That's what happened. And everybody was furious at that time. Hey, what the brother said, I'm with that brother too. California is the land of sodomites. Outside of California, you got the land of Atlanta. That's another sodomite territory. Who knows? Maybe the Most are gonna strike this area next. Getting rid of those guys. So let me find that scripture. Just like in the days of Noah. Just like in the days of Noah, KJV. Matthew 24:37. Matthew 24:37. Where you at? Matthew 24:37. Matthew 24. Yep. So Matthew 24 verse 37 say, but as the days of Noe were, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man. So basically, just like in the day of Noah, the same exact situation happened in the days of Noah. Like people were doing, like to wake up in the morning, like you wake up in the morning, whatever day. If it's like the week, Monday to Friday. Um, if it's like a at the week, you wake up, you go to, like if you're an adult, you go to work, after work, grocery shopping, whatever activity you're doing, like um getting into marriage, like the scriptures say, if your kids they go to school, it's gonna be like a regular, basically like a typical regular day, like you don't expect anything happening. You say hi to your neighbors, and boom, all of the sudden, a situation like that happen. So, but as the day of Noah, where so shall also the coming of the Son of Man. Basically, the Son of Man, which is Yahweh Shah Mashiach, gonna return it like in the similar situation, man. Well, for those of us that are part of the hopeful, like we don't know the exact date that he's coming back. However, the scripture put down sign that will tell you exactly what's gonna happen, and part of what's gonna happen is like perilous time. There's gonna be like earthquakes, um, earthquakes in diverse places. That's when you read in the book of Matthew. Give me one second. You find that in Luke 21 verse 11 all the way, and then you read 24 to 28, and you find like a second address 16th. So basically, everything that's gonna you get like a Jacob's trouble, all this perilous times. You get a war, nation versus nations, stuff like that. You get people versus people. People turn on the rulers pretty much, and then the key sign you get the MOTB. That's one of the key signs. After that, you got the pretty much the lake of fire, man, and those are the signs. So those of us are part of the hopeful, like Lord willing, I'm part of the hopeful, like we are. So when house shall come, so we're gonna be very cheerful, man. And those that are not part of the elect, they're gonna think he appears out of nowhere. Like up until the Most High woke me up to the truth, not just me personally, all of us up until the Most High woke us up, we were most likely just like our parents. Yeah, we've been hearing that Yahushua's coming back since we were kids. Yeah, he ain't never coming back. We're just gonna continue doing what we were doing. So when those, so a lot of our family members are like that, man. They're gonna wake up one day, and it's just gonna be like, when Yahusha show up, they're gonna be like, what? He's actually coming back. He's actually here. Then they're gonna start calling all bug out names that they learned since they were kids, and none of them gonna work. So yep. So let me go down. For us in the days that were before the flood, they were eating and drinking. So before the flood appears, because Noah was prophesying for 140 years, if I'm not mistaken, 120 or 140 years, one of those two. And for all those years that he was prophesying, people were making fun of him. They're calling, yeah, man, that guy is crazy, man. He's been preaching for how long now? So they probably like, man, this guy Noah keep on saying, oh, there's gonna be like a big flood. Or they probably like, flood. Have you ever seen? Noah was saying like, yeah, there's gonna be waters gonna come from the sky, and they're gonna go down to the earth, gonna wash everything away. People like, man, what are you talking about, man? Ever since we were born, there's no such thing as waters coming from the sky. There's no such thing as a big flood that's gonna wipe everything away. Man, you bugging, man. We probably like, man, you been drinking too much. Oh, this guy is crazy, man. These others have some nonsense to talk about. Just like, so that's how the men back then were. So they was like, man, whatever, man. We're just gonna continue to doing whatever BS they were doing. But every time he was prophesying, naturally people would come and gather. They listen. Just like when we are sitting on the highways and byways, you see people walk by. They look at the sign. They start reading. Then they listen to you for like 2 to 5 minutes, or sometimes 10 minutes. Then after they get another, like, yeah, this isn't for me. This guy's talking nonsense. Because they try to pick your interest, try to see what you're really talking about. Then when they say something that's not really suitable to them, they was like, man, this guy's bugging, man. Yeah, what you say, none of it's are real. Like in the days of Noah, they couldn't imagine like there was something as a flood. Water's gonna crack the sky, come down, land and wash everything away. So to those people, man, up until that day, man, they was like, man, whatever, man. They go back doing their fallenness, man. Eating, like the scripture said, drinking, like the scripture said pretty much, like marrying and giving into marriage. Basically they marrying, like a guy would give his daughter to another person getting married, partying, you can say that also, working, doing the regular duties, and performing all the wickedness, similar to like a practice, worshiping the idols, pretty much, practicing like a sodomite behaviors, pretty much. Basically, anything you see going today is the exact same thing that was going on back then also, except today is has been amplified. So, marrying, giving into marriage until the day that Noah entered the ark. So basically, everybody was still doing the same exact activities they were doing up until Noah entered the ark. Once Noah entered the ark, the Most High closed that door. That was a wrap. So that's when the the cloud probably got when before there's like a storm, you see the sky get darker, and you see like clouds start closing in, and then water start pouring, and they probably like, wait a minute, what's going on? Then all of a sudden, everything that Noah was saying, sometimes when somebody tell you something, right, you don't pay attention, you're like, whatever, man. Up until that thing actually happened to you, you be like, oh shoot, so and so told me exactly what that was gonna happen. Then you see like a panicking start creeping in, and you start feeling guilty. All of a sudden you're like, oh no, what have I done? Then you try to go make amends. By the time it's already too late, man. So a lot of people start rushing to Noah. They was like, oh Noah, we finally believe you, man. We believe you now. Can you please open the door for him? But by then it was too late. It was too late. Likewise in this day and age, man, like the men of the Lord, Lord willing, I'm one of those men. Also, go like on highways and byways, prophesying the truth and telling the people exactly what's gonna happen. We're telling like Babylon the Great is gonna be destroyed. Like Yahweh Hamashiach is coming like in a chariot with which a chariot which is what the world call like a UFO. He's gonna crack the sky on that chariot, and he's coming back to redeem his people, which is the Israelite. And nowadays we pretty much the Israelites. The best we can classify us in nowadays is using modern day term Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. And many of our brethren are scattered across the world and look like the other nations. So when you tell the people that, they was like, man, whatever, man, that's not true. He's coming to save everybody. They're gonna start using the John 3:16. He said he's coming to save the entire world, man. When Yahweh himself said he came to he came to basically save the lost sheep of house of Israel, pretty much, man. And when you tell people that, man, when the lake of fire is basically the ICBMs missiles that's coming on down or dropping on America, they was like, man, there's nothing like that has ever happened, stuff like that. So, but until Yahweh cracked the sky, and they saw those fires of the missiles coming down, that's when that fear is gonna creep in. The same exact fear that happened during Noah's time. That's when you're gonna start seeing the gnashing their teeth, man. They're gonna start panicking, man. And the most I don't know, the most likely will put like the remembrance back in their head. They're gonna be like, oh no, the men of the Lord that was on highways and byways were telling the truth the whole time. That's when they're gonna start panicking. They're gonna be like, oh man, what have I done? You're gonna tell me all those men of the Lord for years, 4, 5, 10, 20, 30, 40 years, they were prophesying the highways and byways. Those guys, they were ridiculed, calling them those guys wearing like a superhero drapes, or like those guys like the Power Rangers. Those guys were legit sincere men of the Lord. They'd be like, and some of them would be like, oh shoot, is that so and so I know from my plantation? I thought he was just a regular nigga. Oh, is that janitor that I used to saw like a sweeping the train station? He was actually one of those men like the Bible was talking about. So a lot of people are gonna start looking at, are gonna start panicking, bugging out, man, and you're gonna see some people that look down on you. You know, us Jakes, especially us Negroes, man. This society look down on us. This society doesn't see us as nothing but trash, piece of shit. So they're gonna look at you. They're like, oh man, is that guy that was working? You'll see you probably looking, don't even notice that you exist. All of a sudden you're like, oh no, I was walking among a mighty man, a man of the Lord the whole time. And all those things gonna start creeping in their head. But then it's too late, man. They were set for destruction pretty much. Hey, what was I? And you not until the flood came and took them all away, so shall also the coming of the Son of Man. So basically people didn't realize what was going to happen, man. And by the time they realized that, they get swept away they get swept away by the flood, pretty much. So that's exactly how the Son of Man, yeah, which is Yahushua Mashiach, will come back. Okay, so perilous time. So I'm gonna read Luke 21 verse 11. You find that pretty much in Matthew, Mark also. Um, I'm just gonna want to Google type perilous time KJV. Oh, you find that in Timothy also. What am I looking for? Give me 1 second. I'm gonna start with Matthew. So that's what I wrote down. I mean, not Matthew. Luke 21 verse 11. I'm gonna start with that part. Luke 21 verse 11. Luke 21 verse 11. Luke 21 verse 11 talks about, and great earthquakes shall be in diverse places, and famines and pestilence, and fearful sights, and great signs shall there be from heaven. So during those days, that's gonna happen pretty much. There's gonna be like a great earthquakes throughout the in diverse places. Pretty much during those perilous times, there's gonna be like a lot of earthquakes. Like today's January 12th. I remember um 2020, not 2020, 2010, we in 2015, which is 15 years ago. In Haiti, there's like a massive earthquake which pretty much shook Haiti at that time, and that was like that was like a worldwide news, and people think that was a big deal at that time. Since then, you get earthquake that is far greater than the earthquake that happened in Haiti back in 15 years ago, man. And it happens like on a regular basis, like to the point that people become like desensitized pretty much, man. They don't even care anymore. They was like, yeah, this thing happened, blah blah blah. I know the situation. I remember when I was early when I was growing up, from the middle school to high school, like the so-called mass shooting when those either might walk into school, start shooting people. I remember I watched a documentary back in Netflix in 2010, and I remember, if I recall, the first big mass shooting happened like 2 like I believe it was 1999, and that was like a big deal at that time, and that was it. Up until that was it for a solid um that was it for like a solid almost 10, 15 years pretty much. And then we got the big one that came out in back in 2012, like a Sandy Hook situation, man. That was like a nationwide publicity, man, and people were like panicking, mourning, the typical BS you see being doing, crying, oh my god, can it be a bunch of innocent kids has been put to death just like that? How can somebody be that wicked, man? And people was mourning. They spent like an entire like couple months to the mourning, or every day celebrate like a BS so-called holiday to remind people of that BS Sandy Hook. And guess what? Since 2012, which is 13 years ago, like mass shooting been happening so frequently, like people don't give a damn anymore. They be like, oh shoot, I am mass shooting. Oh, here we go. Oh well, who knows? There's gonna be another one. I remember that, man, because I was in high school at that time. I believe I was a sophomore in high school around that time, and I remember the entire nation stood still because so they can mourn those losses of those kids and those that teacher. Those at the heroic. If I remember, it was a teacher, female teacher that's saved a student and she lost her life in the process, something like that. And from then on, pretty much mass shooting happen every day, every week. Like people don't even care anymore, man. There's another one that happened back in 2015 when the Edomite unalived those jakes of the church. Outside of mass shootings, we get people unalive 100 on the databases. You get like you get earthquakes. like I said earlier, they got earthquake that happened in Haiti, and people, the entire world was stood still. People donation from every country around the world helping those people in Haiti, even though they didn't help them at all, even though Esau took all those money anyway. But that's like a big deal around 15 years ago, man. And he didn't take a couple more, and now, as I'm speaking right now, you got earthquake that is far greater than the one that's happening in Haiti on a daily basis right now, man. And people don't even care anymore. They're like, oh, just an earthquake. Outside of earthquake, you got hurricanes, massive hurricane destroying places, businesses. You got tsunamis, volcanoes eruptions. You got people getting bomb dropped. Like at one point, a bomb dropped. The entire world stood still and mourning the losses. Now you got people getting bombs on their daily basis now. Like it's like the common norms. So these are where all those perilous time Yahweh was telling the disciples is gonna happen in the future, man. And there's gonna be famine and pestilence. Oh yeah, another thing that's going on right now. People getting hungry, man. They're thirsty, hungry. They can't find food, and a lot of places. Cause us jigs that live in America, man. As much as we complaining, we're catching hell. The Most High still have mercy upon us, man. Cause jigs outside the U.S., man. Jigs that live in like our third world countries, man. Whoo, they're getting it bad, man. Like I was listening to the lesson of GMS um um GMS Bayaf. Let me see if I can find the channel. I just watched the GMS Bayaf Kahazad, or like House of Mourning, pretty much, man. And he was talking about, it was telling like jigs in the third world countries, man. They have it rough. Because us in Babylon the Great, we complaining, yeah, we're catching under this devil. He's putting heavy restriction on us. We're paying bills. We're working our ass 24/7. At the end of the day, we got a roof over our head, man. We can sleep anytime we want, pretty much. If we're cold, we can literally go in the house when it's freezing, or crack the heat up, and we sleep in peace. And if it's hot, we can turn the AC on. But jigs outside the U.S. don't have that luxury, man. Especially those, like the elder was saying, that live in like a country that is circulate outside the Western civilization. Like when I say Western civilization, is like any country that's not affiliated with like like the Europeans. Like if you, cause basically, the reality is, if you live in a country like that's like a westernized, like U.S., Canada, France, England, Australia. These are pretty much, they all have they all have similar systems. So whatever that's going on in America, most likely gonna happen to those same countries. They just have probably like various different law based on their location. That's about it. After that, the entire system, what they all do the same thing over and over, pretty much. But if you live outside countries like Islamic countries, more like if you live in countries like Moab territory, Hamanad, those guys, they have their own rules, and they don't give a shit about jigs, to be honest with you. And they don't even hide it. Like in here in Babylon the Great, or westernized countries, they have to hide the hatred toward jigs, man. They have to pretend like they care about them by by pacify them with those BS diversity, equity, DEI stuff, or give them a BS civil right movement to basically pacify Jake too, so Jake can give them a loan. Like Moab, Haman, like Elamite, Ishmaelite, they flat out tell Jake, look, man, we don't care about you, and you a piece of shit. They'll tell Jake that in the face, and Jake knows it firsthand. Or same way like Hamite don't give two pieces of paper about Jake. So in a way, as much as we're catching hell in Babylon the Great, the Most High still have mercy on us, man. He give us place to live. Like in Babylon the Great, we have houses, we have cars, and some jakes have to wake up extra early. Like in here in Babylon the Great, like me right now, I walk every day. I do at least 5 to 7 miles a day. That's me. That's doing it willingly because I'm working out. I stay active. Jakes outside the U.S. doesn't have that luxury. So when they walk for 5-10 miles on a regular basis, that's actually that's the daily living, man. Like me, I'm doing this as a leisure, as a pleasure. But those jigs, that's like they're part of the lifestyle, man. Like in Babylon the Great right now, if I have my shoe right now and I see like a low hole in that shoe, that's trash. I can go buy another shoes. In a third world country, they don't have that luxury, man. They're just gonna take it. They go back on what's a sewing machine and just patch it up. Like a clothes, it's ripped, you trash it. And third world country, they're gonna take it, patch it up. So as much as we complain, the Most High still have mercy on us, man. So, what was I saying again? And like I said, there's gonna be pestilence. As we can see, there's like a lot of disease that's going on around. A lot of them are man-made, right? Esau, so the Most High using the devil to judge the earth too. So we've seen that like on all those bird flu, um, C19 stuff like that. What else? Monkeypox. Any disease like Esau's always making fabricating new disease, adding new ingredients to make them to amplify them. Any disease that you can think of, like they are going right now. So basically, all those like and fearful sight and great sign shall there be from heaven. And there's gonna be like a terrifying thing that's gonna happen, like a great miraculous sign that's gonna happen from the heaven, man. So when you go to 24, and they shall fall by the edge of the sword, and shall be led away captive into all nations. So basically, when that scripture said they shall fall by the edge of the sword and shall be led away captive unto all nations, that's really talking about the Israelite, man. Will be fall by the sword and will be led in captive in many nations throughout the world. As of now, we are still technically in captivity. These are basically our last captivities under the Edomites. First and foremost under the Edomite, then wherever we are spreading, we also under captivity under these nations as well. And Jerusalem should be trodden down of the Gentiles. Basically, the Jerusalem will tremble down by the Gentiles until the times of the Gentiles be fulfilled, until the period of the Gentiles come to an end, pretty much, man. Let me see. And there shall be sign in the sun, and in the moon, and in the stars, and upon the earth, distress of nations with perplexity, the sea and the waves warring. So basically, there's gonna be strange signs on the sun and in the moon, like what we've been seeing for the past few years, especially the past decade. You see more like you heard like there's like a solar storm, or you see like a more what's it called again? Damn it! When the sun and the moon collided, they create what's it called again? I can't remember. Let me type again. When the sun and the moon. What's it called again? Why can I not forget? Remember the name? Yeah, eclipse pretty much. You see sun like the solar eclipse pretty much, man. And you see shooting stars appearing also. And you say here on the earth that and upon the earth distress of nations. Basically there's like a turmoil between nations, man. Like you see one nation want to take down another nations. You see nations start rising against nations. You see one nation decide to ally himself with another nation so they can fight another nations pretty much. With perplexity, the seas and the waves warring. Basically like there's the seas and the tides are pretty much like warring pretty much, man. Men's heart failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth. So basically people are gonna be terrified of what's going to happen, man. Because for like a simple-minded person that's not in the truth, that have no idea what's going on, they're panicking. They'll be like, "What's all this thing going?" Similar to what happened roughly 5 years ago, man, when the pandemic happened, and a lot of people be like, "Things came out of nowhere, man. I was just working, and suddenly my plantation say, don't come to work, blah blah." Like people they have their jobs, and the company they wake up one day coming to work, and the company say, "You no longer work here, man." And people gonna be like, "What's going on? I've been working here for 30 years, for 40 years. I've been working here for 10 years. Why can't I go work again?" Because those same people, they weren't paying attention when you tell them, "Hey, they passed this law, and this law is gonna prevent you from work." They be like, whatever, man. This never happened. Or we have a union, blah blah. A union gonna protect us. Yeah, the same union just turn on you. Or when you tell them something, pay attention to the news, or save a couple little. When you go to the store and buy 2 cases of water, They will use one and save the other one. They'll be like, whatever, man. I'll do whatever I want. There's nothing happen. Every time there's something happen, things always come back to normal, and people gonna realize now things don't come back to normal anymore. When something happen, it's only gonna get worse and worse. What was I again? Which are coming onto the earth for the powers. Men's heart. Yeah, men's heart for failing them for fear and for looking after those things which are coming on the earth, for the powers of heaven shall be shaking. So basically, people will be terrified what they see coming upon the earth, pretty much, man. Also, all those atrocity, man. For the powers of heaven will be shaking. And then shall they see the Son of Man coming in a cloud with power and great glory. And basically, everyone basically will see the Son of Man, which is Yahweh, coming with great powers and glory. And when these things begin to come to pass, then look up and lift up your head, for your redemption draw nigh. So basically, when we see all those things happen, we should be able to look up, because our salvation is near. What was I again? Matthew 24 verse 7. Matthew 24 verse 7. Matthew 24 verse 7. So basically, Matthew 24 is talking about like nations will rise against nations and kingdom against kingdom, pretty much, man. So for nation shall Matthew 24 verse 7 say, for nation shall rise against nation and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilence and earthquakes in diverse places. So basically, like I said earlier, it's pretty much exactly what I said earlier in the book of Luke, pretty much, man. You're gonna have nations fighting another, man. You're gonna see one nation is gonna be totally against another nation, or you're gonna see like a small nation is gonna take like a nation that was once considered to be weak. Now he ally himself with another powerful nation to take on another nation, man. Just like when you have like when you get two guys fighting, he get his butt whooped by a guy stronger than him. He goes back, grabs somebody that's just as strong as the other guy to beat him up. So they start creating partners, and most likely the other guy's gonna start bringing another guy. Basically, like you're gonna have two group of people fighting another group of people, pretty much, man. And kingdom against kingdoms. Yeah, you got those great kingdoms will be like the powerhouse of the world, which is countries like from the UK, France, Germany, US. Those are considered like a major power player in the world stage. And you get countries like Russia, China, Japan, Australia. These are like the world. It's like the most powerful nations on the planet, pretty much. And there shall be famines and pestilence. Basically, there's gonna be like a lot of hunger that's going on around the world, man. Because people gonna be starving to death. Because a lot of places is gonna be like a man-made famine, pretty much, man, to starve the plantation. I mean, not the plantation, to starve the populations, pretty much. And pestilence will be like a various form of disease, like the plan that what happened in 2020, the C-19, monkeypox, bird flu, all those diseases I can think of. Even some of them that we haven't even seen yet, because Esau, as in the Most High, haven't give Esau the permission to release a lot of disease. And earthquakes in diverse places. There's gonna be like earthquakes throughout the entire world. You can have one in here, Babylon the Great, one in China, one in Europe, one in Africa. Anywhere there's like an earthquake in diverse places. It's not just earthquakes, tsunami, or volcano eruptions, thunderstorm, any so-called natural disaster you can think of. All those things can happen, and all these are the beginning of sorrow. All these things are the beginning of birth pain. Then shall, let me see Matthew, okay, and basically, then shall they deliver you up to be afflicted, and shall kill you, and ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So basically, Yahushua say like will be delivered, basically will be arrested and persecuted, and they'll be basically putting us in prison, and they will also be killed. And ye shall be hated of all nations for my name's sake. So we're gonna be throughout the world. We're gonna be hated because by all the nations for because of Yahushua's sake, because we are basically followers of Yahushua pretty much. And the last one I'm gonna read will be Second Ezra 16 verse 18 pretty much. Second Ezra 16 verse 18. So basically, Second Ezra 16 verse 18 says, "The beginning of sorrows and great mournings, the beginning of famine and great death, the beginning of wars and the powers shall stand in fear, the beginning of evils. What shall I do when these evils shall come?" So basically, that's gonna be like it's gonna be the basically it's gonna be the beginning of trouble. There's gonna be like great mourning throughout the earth, pretty much, man. And there's gonna be like a famine, which is people gonna be hungry, starving, and people basically gonna what happen when people are starving? They're gonna start looking for food. The conventional way is like when somebody hungry, they most likely gonna go like right now. If somebody hungry right now, what they're gonna do? They're gonna go to like a food pantry or like a go like a to like a they always have those shelters like where they make where people line up just so they can get like a breakfast, snack or lunch, or you can go to like those churches giving out food. So during that time, which is Jacob trouble, there won't be any food pantry. So you're gonna see somebody you know have food. They just say your neighbor, you know your neighbor have a big storehouse where he store food, and you're gonna walk to your neighbor. You're gonna, hey, can I have some piece of food? And the neighbors know that the situation is dire. He's gonna want to save food for his family. He's not gonna want to give it to you. So guess what happened? You guys gonna come to a conclusion. You most likely gonna be like, look, man, either you giving the food the easy way or the hard way. And the reality is, it ain't gonna be the easy way. So it's gonna be one man's gonna stand and one man's gonna fall. So you that are hungry, you know you're starving, you haven't been eating for a couple of days. What do you think you're gonna do? You ain't gonna ask that person for food. You're just gonna flat out take it. In the early stage, you might have people gonna be like, please, can you give me some food? And after a while, they won't give it down. They most likely will not give it down. They most likely will take a weapon. He's gonna want the food. He know you have something he wants, and he's gonna get it. Guess what's gonna happen? He's gonna crack a skull to grab that food and eat it. So that's what's gonna happen in those days, man. And there's gonna be basically many people will die of what? Starvation. The scripture said in those days that's coming right now, it is better to die by the sword than to die of hunger. Because your body can spend like 3 weeks without eating and drinking. You won't be able to last 3 days without drinking, but your body can last far longer without eating. Can you imagine dying of hunger? Which means you start hallucinating, you start eating whatever's around your area. Some people are gonna start chewing their hands. They're gonna start, like the scripture said, like in the 70s, 80s, the people were eating sandals, belt, clothes. They were eating people, cannibalism. All those things are part of hunger. That's how horrible it is. People are gonna start eating on one another. You're gonna get two people walking, and one get tired, and he starts seeing his friend as a meal. Probably crack him open with like a piece of like a baseball bat in the head and start eating it. There's a show on what's the show? It's a movie on Netflix. Damn it! Why can't I remember that? Platform. Yeah. The movie name is Platform. It's basically people that's commit various crime, and they put them like on a platform. There's like different. I don't know how many floors. Could be 1,000 floor, but they just put a lot of people on the floor. But what happened is they have like they have food basically on top. Where the food is coming on top, and the food's gonna go from each floor. So basically, before the people sign up, they each person have to put down their favorite food, what they want, and on top of that, they have to pick like a choice, like a weapon. And some people are foolish; they get bugs, they get like a whatever nonsense, flowers, not knowing exactly why. Some people flat out get weapons because they start unaliving people. You see the people from the first floors, they start eating the best part of the food. Some people are wicked. They piss on them, they shit on them. But when hunger kicking, those guys they ain't worry about that. So they touch inside. That's stuff that they don't want on the side and start eating it. And what's starting happening is Like each time each for the pallet is going down, the food start decreasing. Guess what happened? People start fighting one another. So when they reach on the lower floor, like when you start going like on the lower floor, there's nothing in it. So what people start doing, they start on a love one another, and on the bottom floor, all they practice is cannibalism. So those days are coming back again. In verse 19, behold, famine and plague, tribulation and anguish are sent as scourge for amendment. So basically, there's gonna be like a famine, like a pestilence, which means like the epidemic, like you get like the one of the horrible epidemic that happens, like Ebola. I remember back in 2014, man, that thing was terrifying. People were like terrified of Ebola. And then another one was like a zombie virus, like that happened in Florida, I believe. And people were terrified of that thing. But people, it's like a flesh-eating viruses. All the drugs, addicts in the street, all those things gonna be amplified, and there's gonna be like a suffering. Basically, there's gonna be people that's gonna be straight up getting suffering pretty much, man. And but 20 said, but for all these things they shall not turn from their wickedness, nor be always mindful of the scourges. Even though within all, despite all those horrible things that happen, there's still gonna be people that's gonna be so wicked they are not gonna even return from the wickedness. Uh, so basically, like I said, even though all these horrible things happen, people still don't return from the wickedness, man. So that's why, I mean, they basically, it's like they forget what's going on. They're still gonna be going on, well, not going on. Well, they're still gonna ignore what's going on and continue to perform wicked deeds, man. So that'll be the lesson of the day, pretty much. And I pray that this was another fine lesson to the flock. And I pray that whatever the most I want to hear this lesson, let that person hear the lesson. And me personally, I pray that I don't add or take away from the scripture, man. And once again, man, I pray that the most I have mercy upon myself, man, and each and every one of us in the Hopeful Life family. Because I know each and every day we're waking up, we are one step closer to full-blown Jacob trouble, man. And I pray that the Most High shield each and every one of us in the Hopeful Life family, starting from the head apostles to the least of the Hopeful Life, man. I pray that the Most High continue to imbue us with the spirit of fear, wisdom, and understanding, with the spirit of meekness. And I pray that the Most High imbue us with the spirit of fear and integrity. Most like also the spirit of endurance, man, because we don't know what the Most High have for each and every one of us in the Hopeful Life family. So whatever situation the Most High gonna put us, man, I pray that the Most High give us the spirit of endurance to endure to the very end. And on top of that, for the Most High to remove the spirit of pride and arrogance out of us, pretty much, man. And with that, I'd like to say, Shalom.